What initially spurred this project was work that I was doing at the Rex Foundation in connection with a grant that we had received from the Libra Foundation. And I decided to do a newsletter which was called Perspectives on Being Human. And at the core of it, and what we put in the newsletter, was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that really spelled out, in our most recent times, a very clear picture of what the world could be like. We felt that this was an opportunity for young people to have a voice as a way of teaching youth about what the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is. What we learned when we were discussing everything is that very few people really knew this document existed.
I had not heard of the document. You know, I did not know that it existed. I certainly knew about human rights. I knew about the Magna Carta. I knew that there was other documents, you know, the Bill of Rights, but that a document had evolved out of the atrocities of World War II was something that either I wasn't paying attention in the history class or I just missed it altogether.
We really felt that this was an opportunity to not only give the youth that were working on this a chance to learn, but to really have a very powerful opportunity to teach others.
At first there was actually a lot of resistance from them because they knew that it was really fascinating and interesting, this idea of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, for the whole world to have something. So it was not necessarily something they grabbed onto right away. But as time went on, they said, wait a minute, this is basic. These are basic rights. This is something that everybody on the planet should have. And as that went on, they was like, all right, we understand that. And really it took 2 years. Because the first year, by the end of the first year, the group said, yeah, that was good. You know, we're really glad that we did it, but I'm still not fully in it. By the end of the second year, every single person in that group said, yes, I made this. It's important to me. I want to be a part of it. I want to push this document further.
And it's exciting to me to watch young people's eyes kind of open in the artistic process. So they're learning about this thing, they're talking about it in relationship to their own lives, they're making those connections, and then they're making art about them, and then they're educating other young people about it. So there's all those steps that you take that creates buy-in for them.
Since ultimately this is a teaching tool, there would be times in the rehearsal process where we would take out pencil and paper and Simone would create a picture just through writing prompts that would get people to just write, and I think that process really helped create the ownership as well.
And then if the actors buy it, then the audience of young people are going to buy into, well, gosh, maybe this is something that I could be interested in.
The most amazing thing has been how every single one of them knows the heart of this document now. And some of them will give you the logistics, like the year it was created and who was there at the table, who signed up, who didn't, and some of them will be like, to me, this means this. And it'll just give you the heart and the essence of it. And going to that from like, I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't,
Doesn't relate to me.
It has nothing to do with me, it has nothing to do with my community, to now where this is essential. We all have to have it.
Article 23, everyone has the right to equal pay for equal work.
It's not about us writing the show for them, it's about pulling the voices out and then organizing the material.
One of the students wrote this beautiful thing, until this document is like written in our bones and written on our muscles, and then that just made it such a piece of poetry where you go, it's true. Until it is in our actions, it is just a piece of paper.
To me, what has been amazing is just this gradual progression of just like, all right, I get it. And that's been a beautiful thing to see.
To me, it sort of unfolded as this journey into taking a lot of responsibility for their privilege, for their fear of moving forward, for their lack of ownership that they can make a difference themselves. That's what became of this project. I mean, they to me, walk away changed because they see themselves as powerful. And so we have this set piece that's a tree, this sort of gangly wire tree that when they say their I will do blank statements, one at a time they can't pull the tree forward, but together they can move that.
You know, as I was sitting in the classroom talking, I noticed that one student was drawing the whole time, and then I looked and he had this incredible drawing of Filipino workers, but one face was in the foreground and the others were shackled. And I said, can I take this drawing? And I held it up and I said, you know, this is Article 14 in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Here it is. And his face lit up because I said, here it is. Here's your drawing. Here's the article. And if a teacher can take that moment and hold up a drawing and says, here it is. Here's the connection. Now I know the student wants to be involved. So I think teachers just have to trust that there's a way for it to be done.
Why do we even have this declaration? Why the United Nations all of a sudden decided to get together after World War II, after all these people were dying, after all these people were killed and blood was shed and tears were shed? Why do we need to come to such a degrading level where people have to die just so we could create human rights for people? Basic. Something that everybody should have. My classmates, what are you talking about? This isn't relevant to us. But I'm like, no, it is relevant to you because this is going to affect you. This is your life. This is things that you're being deprived of. Why don't you recognize this? Why don't you open your eyes? Because me, I don't usually like to be a teacher in that sense. But when I feel like something is not being lived up to, I have to speak. And those was one of the rare few moments that my teacher actually got to see and whatever. And for the first time, we actually reached an agreeable understanding. If it's going to be introduced in the classrooms, the students should be able to interact, read these articles, and kind of interpret what they say, and then have a meaningful discussion on what they mean and how you can take those basic rights into your daily lives, how you're going to do my new actions.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
Man, for me,
Oh, Javier, you shared your knowledge with other people.